Well, hey everybody, it's Kellen Nitro for NitroManiacTV's Wrestling Unlimited, coming at you with another Would They Have Had a Shot? Joining me is, of course, the co-host of Would They Have Had a Shot. It's the mighty Moorhouse, joining us from Parts Unknown.
Parts Unknown. Parts Unknown. Next to Death Valley, I believe.
I think it's about 23 miles east of True for Consequences.
It's pretty close to that, yeah.
Yeah. From what I've heard. In New
From
Mexico.
the outer reaches of your mind.
Whoa! The outer reaches of your mind. I love it. So, this is the second Would They Have Had a Shot. The first one is the most popular video on the channel. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, we did the 2001 WWF Royal Rumble, which basically was the catalyst of this project. I want to say about 4 years ago, something like that. I figured, well, hey, it's about time we do a second one. So it's a little bit different, a little bit of a different take to it, of course, on Nitro's take. Well, it's a classic Nitro's take. It's not so much live. It's live to tape. You're watching it. We're here. It's an all-timer type deal. But anyway.
With the power of technology, we're live whenever you want us to be live.
That's right. We are in your pocket. That's for sure. Absolutely. So, you know what? The beauty of this and that stuff is, you know what? We don't have the Undertaker this episode. We're just gonna chat. We're just gonna hit this up, and we're gonna go after today the 1997 Royal Rumble, which took place in San Antonio, Texas, on January 19th. 1997, in front of a packed house, 60,477. How many of those were free tickets? We won't talk about that, but
it's the Alamo Dome, which is one of the biggest venues they've done since Wembley.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think it is. I'm trying to think now in my mind. I think that might be the biggest one since Wembley in '92 that they hit.
Yep, I think so. All the manias were still arenas.
They wanted to do a stadium show. Vince wanted a stadium show. And Vince saw the star at the time was HBK Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels was from San Antonio, Texas. They have the Alamo Dome in Texas. Ergo, you're going to the Alamo Dome. So there we go. And we see the lead up to it.
And you know who's not doing stadium shows at this time? WCW.
They haven't done the Nitros at the Georgia Dome yet. No, I think that's upcoming later this year in 1997. But in as of January 1997, nobody's done a stadium of the Big Two since Wembley in '92, basically with the SummerSlam.
With Bulldog and Brett.
The WrestleManias have been relegated to hockey arenas. Basically, you had the 1996 Mania, of course, was at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, which was at the time a brand new building. You had a one in '95 at the Hartford Civic Center, and so on and so forth, and then MSG in '94. I guess this is maybe the largest crowd they've drawn since Mania 9, actually, in the Caesar's Palace parking lot.
Yeah. The WWF is having, or WWF at the time is having tough times. They've been shell shocked by Turner and WCW, and they've really taken over the wrestling industry.
That's right, exactly. So they've taken over the wrestling industry, and we are loving what we are seeing over on the WCW side at this point, because this is prime WCW. With the NWO.
Yep, this is Sting is haunting you from the rafters right now.
Yeah. And this is NWO comes out and tries to close the show by taking over every week, and either Sting comes from the ceiling or whatever, or who's going to join the NWO.
Competing against Royal Rumble is Sold Out 97, which is an NWO themed event. Every match was NWO commentary. They just crapped on all the WCW talent. It was really one-sided, and if you wanted to watch a story, you weren't going to get it that night. yeah,
for sure. No, it was going to be a that one was a of really just it was a good idea on paper, but really badly thought out. And I think that's due for another Classic Nitros take with the boys here one of these days, just to see exactly how bad and how they can stand it, basically. But we'll get to that at another time. But yes, that's right. That was in the Quad Cities of Des Moines, Iowa, I believe, was the sold out pay-per-view. And yeah, so this was the WWF offering on Sunday, January 19th on pay-per-view. So yes, this was the highest recorded live crowd in the Royal Rumble's history until the 2025 edition of the event. So, and I think the 2025 edition, that was the one that just passed, that was in Indianapolis. So there we go. So and much like today, WWF was working with the Mexico-based Lucha Libre AAA promotion, or Lucha Libre AAA worldwide promotion, as it was called at the time, and had several wrestlers from that company participate in the Royal Rumble match, as well as preliminary undercard matches. So, Vince, this is rare for Vince. Yeah, the tagline I had for this, Moorhouse, coming into this is, how do you have a Royal Rumble match with 20 wrestlers under contract, and it's a 30-man Royal Rumble? They call it AAA.
Yep.
Just like you're stranded onto your roadside in the States, you call AAA.
That's pretty much what Vince did. This is the first big partnership he's had since probably New Japan in the early 90s.
Yeah. The SWS thing that was going on with who was that? Tenryu.
And Giant Baba, yeah.
And Giant Baba, yeah, exactly, right? So this is the first real partnership going on, and so we see a ton of AAA talent on this card, and we'll get to it as we go. But before we get into the Rumble match itself, we'll take a look and say that there was supposed to be a second match on a free-for-all, but it ended up getting canceled. What was supposed to be a WWF Tag Team title defense. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog are the tag champions at this time. They're taking on, or were to take on, Piroff and Cibernetico from AAA, and Doug Furness and Phil LaFawn, who recently had started with WWE, the Can-Am Express. But that match didn't happen, and Piroff and Cibernetico were moved into the Rumble match, and Furness and LaFawn were
nowhere to be seen. Yep, they were.
We don't see them. I don't think on a WWE pay-per-view until Mania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think, or were they part? No, sorry, my mistake. I think they were part of that Final Four pay-per-view. We did it. I got to go back and take a look at the notes for that. I think
they were in the Fatal Four at WrestleMania.
But they were definitely in the Fatal Four-Way at WrestleMania. So there we go. Man. The undercard, just looking at it on Wikipedia here, you had Paraguayo Jr. and Venom defeating Maniaco and Moscaro de la Merced by pinfall.
Your Spanish is
terrible. Yes, exactly. So feel free to correct me as we go if you want. Blue Demon, Octagon, and Teneblas Jr. defeating Abismo Negro, Heavy Metal, and Hysteria by pinfall. And yes, my Spanish is abysmal, so there we go. And then we have the minis. So we had Mascarita Sagrada Jr. and La Parquita defeating Mini Mankind and Mini Vader by pinfall.
Oh, it's one of the little people matches.
Yes. And of course, Mini Vader, I believe, known for his Shotgun Saturday Night appearance with Jim Cornette and the men's bathroom at what was that, Union Station, I believe. Yeah,
yep.
Just under.
They're jumping up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
I never understand why little people in wrestling always act like they're 4 years old.
Stereotype, probably. Yep. Something like that. Yeah, it's got to be a stereotype, I would think. Something along those lines. But hey, whatever. It's weird.
They're clearly 20, 30, 40-year-old men acting like 4-year-olds.
This is a good point. Exactly. And that goes back to the territory days too. Like in the 70s, like Stampede, with your history with Stampede. Yeah, exactly. He loved booking it, especially around Stampede time, when they got the biggest crowds of the year. But man, yeah, it's just they act like they're just, toddlers just learning how to walk sometimes. It's unreal.
Like, pick me up.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, like I said, we'll quickly hit up on the undercard. Not too much notes about this. The match or the pay-per-view opens with a 16-minute and 50-second affair. Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Curtis Hughes in his corner, taking on Goldust with Marlena for the Intercontinental Championship. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley was the champion going into this, and he retains the Intercontinental title. What did you think of this opener? I have written down that it was a solid opener, and these two, of course, would carry a feud into Mania that year, and we would see Chyna make her debut.
It was a good opening match. It was a standard match. There's nothing to complain about. Looking at the depth of this roster, even though this is technically the mid-card title, the mid-level, these two guys technically would be like 7 and 8 on the pecking order because of how thin the roster is right now.
I would think as much. Yes.
Also with Mr. Hughes, enjoy his couple weeks here. He'll be gone again.
My favorite Mr. Hughes story, I think, if I remember this correctly, is he opened up a wrestling school in Detroit and was completely kayfabing his students. And one of the Motor City Machine Guns, I can't remember if it was Sabin or Shelley, tells this, is that he worked a show for one of them worked a show for him in Detroit, and Curtis would not take the glasses off at all. To the point where, you know how sometimes people have the strap around the back to keep their glasses on if you're doing athletics or stuff like that? He was wearing that like 24/7. So he had the sunglasses and the strap around the back. Yeah. So
I think my favorite one is Jericho talks about in his book, because he did come back in '99 as Jericho's manager for a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
He had severe narcolepsia, so he actually fell asleep during the manager spot and missed his spot twice because he fell asleep.
So that's what the sunglasses were for. They were hiding his eyes.
Exactly, because
that's what they were for.
He just randomly fall asleep, so he missed 2 spots in a match because he wasn't awake.
That's a good gimmick. That's a damn good gimmick. I like that. Yeah, there we go. So Curtis Hughes, what a relic from the '90s wrestling, of course. Just jeez.
But usually, if your roster is very thin, you'll see Mr. Hughes show up.
I think so, yes. Especially in the 90s, for sure. And amongst different companies, too. It wasn't just a WWF thing.
He's been ECW. He's been in UWF.
Yeah. Herb Abrams loved him some Mr. Hughes. Much. Holy moly. Did he ever like that guy? There we go. So, moving on, we've got Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson, and this was a heated feud. This match on the undercard is 8 minutes and 48 seconds, and this was hyped to hell around this time. This was one of the marquee matchups leading into this pay-per-view.
Ahmed is over. Ahmed Johnson is very over here.
Fresh off of a multi-month Intercontinental title reign during the summer. Basically was tagging with Shawn Michaels to take on Camp Cornette during the summer of '96, and
he was at that. He was almost passing that glass ceiling there.
Yeah. It was looking at potentially being the same level, if not one step below Shawn at one point. Yeah, and some really decent matches during the summer, and then this feud with Farouk, who just Ron Simmons coming in from WCW. First came in as a gladiator. Blue Spartacus, I believe. Yeah. Yes. In the blue variety.
But then 3 months later is like, you know what? I want to be a Black Panther now.
Yeah, I'm a black militant, and here are my militant buddies.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and the Nation of Domination, which was somehow Vince and Bruce Pritchard and that stuff explain it as a take off of the Nation of Islam, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever,
I've always saw more Black Panther vibe.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were getting at too, right? Was a take on that, but it's just man, it's 97 WWF, early 97 WWF.
They're not quite Attitude Era, but they've definitely opened the Band-Aid to let the blood flow a bit more.
And the cut is starting at this point. They're fast approaching that Raw in the springtime where they achieve
no longer will you see pirates stealing jackets of champions being a source of frustration for these wrestlers.
Oh, but I like John Pierre Lafitte.
Hell of a boxer.
Hell yeah. He's still out there today wrestling from time to time. This match I thought was really good. Like a really decent match between the two. Ahmed gets the DQ win and takes
Crowd
out...
hated it. Crowd hated the finish.
Yeah, they wanted a definite finish here between the two of them. And they get that at Mania. It's a six-man schmoz because you add the Legion of Doom in there.
Why not?
probably because you just signed a Legion of Doom like the month prior and you had nothing to do with them. So you're just like, well, it's in Chicago. You're going to use the Legion of Doom. Let's throw them in with this thing, right?
This is the hottest Farouk will be as a heel, though. Like this point.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It just kind of goes down. Yeah.
Yeah. This is classic Nation of Domination too. You got PG-13 wrapping them to the ring. You've got,
D'Lo and Mark.
D'Lo and Mark Henry as just unnamed dudes in this thing.
Yeah.
Commas in there. I mean, like just I don't know who goes through the table in this match. It looks like it's just I don't think it's D'Lo that goes through the table because we see D'Lo later in the night in the Rumble match walking out with Crush. So it's not D'Lo, but it looked like just some Memphis talent or something like that because they had the developmental deal with Memphis at the time. So it could have been, but
Wildfire Buddy Rich just was thrown through that table.
He kind of looks like a time-traveling Titus O'Neil, this dude that gets thrown through the table. But I don't think time machines, they're still not invented now. They definitely weren't invented back then. So
well, they could have been invented in the future and already traveled to the past.
Okay.
We just blew your mind, man.
Wow. There we go. That's what it is. My mind is blown. So, yes. I thought it was a good match. I think it's obviously, for a feud that had so much hype and so much sizzle to it, it's kind of sucks that it gets, it kind of blows off. Like
no, it doesn't. This feud goes on for over a year. It's a long.
No, that's feud. A good point too. Yeah, sorry.
Because Ahmed Johnson eventually joins the Nation.
He joins the Nation, and then
then he gets kicked out and starts feuding with the Nation again.
And then that's when he gets kicked out of WWE for whatever.
Well, he was having some personal demons.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, no, that's a great point. But yeah, this is the evergreen feud of the Nation. I see Ahmed Johnson, therefore I am is the Nation of Domination at this point. So that's what that is, and we still have like the two primary people we see on Raw every week and that stuff. Wrestling is Farouk or Crush. That's it. Mm-hmm. At this point, we haven't added Savio. We haven't added. Like you said, D'Lo and Mark are just they're players.
They're
the
Mark's
dudes
only
in the suits
for less than a year.
Yeah, they're dudes in the suits at this point.
Remember, Mark Henry doesn't really hit his peak until 05, 06.
Yeah. No, it's still a few years off for that. And D'Lo doesn't really hit his peak until middle of '98. So I mean,
middle of '98. Yeah.
So he's still a year off there, but that's it. So, but anyway, yeah, good match. Ahmed gets the DQ win. I've enjoyed that match. That's it. So our next match is a singles match, and it's one of the classic super heavyweight versus super heavyweight encounters that WWE decides to do. The man, yes, the Moorhouse who kind of tributes his entire look to the man of Vader. Yes, there we go. Takes on the Undertaker. Yeah, this was 13 minutes and 19 seconds in a singles match, and Vader gets the win. I have down decent undercard match with two super heavyweights. Much like it was at the time, but it went a little too long though. Both guys looked gassed at the end of it. What did you think of this one? I thought that they both looked gassed towards the end of this thing.
I think that was a bit of it. This is the first time they've really worked together. Vader, I think, also already went through a bit of a diet suggestion at this point. Him and Yokozuna.
Okay. This is
So
post HBK bullying Vader. Yes,
I think HBK has already been bullied. Like, he's already worked with HBK, and HBK's like, I'm never working with this guy again.
yes.
And then Vince has puppy dog eyes for Shawn Michaels, so of course he's going to listen to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, of course. And so there we go.
Vader's kind of on this downward trend. Like, he'll just continually sliding down the card until he leaves at No Way Out next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and The Undertaker remains The Undertaker. Again, coming off of a huge feud with Mankind coming into this match that basically dominated all of 96. And this was the rollout into it. And we see Paul Bearer. The big reveal here is Paul Bearer is the new manager for Vader, because Vader has kicked Jim Cornette to the curb. And now Paul Bearer, Paul Bearer, Paul Bearer, rather, is the new manager for Vader. Almost called him Paul Vader.
But a temporary manager. I think they only are together for a couple months.
Yeah, through Mania, and then that's basically it.
Yeah.
And then Bearer starts
and then
the whole Kane's alive thing.
Your brother, he's not dead.
He's to get at the Undertaker. Yes. Kane's alive.
You tried to murder him.
So in a bizarro world, let's just do a quick hypothetical here. In a bizarro world, because of the red and black look and everything, is Vader the hopeful feud for the Undertaker going into Mania? Is that what they were initially trying here with this, or is this just a stopgap to see if the two would actually have chemistry and they could build on something?
I say the whole Mania thing got messed up when Shawn lost his smile. Because you had to scramble. Like, this, I hate to say it, but this Rumble doesn't matter at all.
Oh, no. We'll get into it. It doesn't.
Because they do a Fatal 4 next month for the title.
Yeah.
Because after Shawn drops it. And then they bring in a fifth man into that match who wasn't involved in the original Fatal 4.
And they have a title match the next night on Raw to decide the other half of that main event.
Yep.
Yes, so it's a complete mess, and we've done on the channel. You can go back through the history. Myself, TL, and Craig P. Frazier sat down and did In Your House Final 4 from February '97. In the past, so you can check it out and take a look at it wherever you get wherever you're seeing this. It's on the same channel here, Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. So there we
basically go. Undertaker's not in Final 4, but he still gets the title shot, even though he didn't do anything.
All right. Well, we talked earlier about the AAA involvement in this card, Moorhouse, and the undercard wraps up basically. We'll call it the undercard because the two main events are following this match. The 6-man tag team match, which is a AAA showcase basically, because we have Connect, Hector Garza, and Perro Aguayo, I should say, versus Heavy Metal, Fuerza Guerrera, and Jerry Estrada.
Yes. Again,
my Spanish is no mas.
he's never been to Spanish land, so of course his Spanish is no good.
Hey, I'm going there in January, so.
Well, you better work on it.
So by the time people have watched this and have discovered this video, I may have already went. So
yes, you should work on it.
Yes. I need a Duolingo owl, I think, is what I'm looking into. But anyways, 6-man tag team match runs 10 minutes, 56 seconds. We've seen this in the past with different companies that have shows on different company shows and that stuff. This is just an all-star showcase of, okay, here's 6 of our best. We're going to give you a good 10 minutes of action and come sample our product. If you like it, here's where we are. But then Vince doesn't even give the AAA program a plug of where you can watch it or anything like that. They're just kind of okay, that's what happened.
Here's some Mexican wrestlers. Let's watch.
Yeah. And you brought up a great point too. It's like Vince's excitement level kind of just wanes throughout this match to the point where he's like, look at that.
He's not very impressed, and Lawler also makes fun of all the wrestlers involved because promoting as, oh, we got the better ones in WWF. Why are we putting up with this today?
Well, yeah, and he's just starting to do the ECW invasion stuff, and that was part of the
That's
line.
only a month or two away.
Yeah. Well, they're already teasing it a little bit on Raw every week, so it's upcoming, right? And that's the same kind of diatribe, right? So I almost wonder if this was just WWF picking on smaller companies, just saying at this point, like, oh, look at them and then look at us,
That's like TNA going around bullying CZW.
That's a good point. Very good point. But I mean, it's it's a partnership. I realized it's a partnership at the time, and I realized that the ECW thing was WWF basically giving ECW money under the table so they could operate week after week, and then using them as a quote unquote developmental for talent. With some guys and stuff like that.
And I think that was the goal with AAA, because they did take a few talent over the next 2 or 3 years from AAA.
Yeah, I believe so too. I'm trying to think who would have made the job.
S.A. Rios.
Yeah, S.A. Rios for sure, because of the light heavyweight thing. Yeah, so that was another thing, is that they were trying to combat this whole first hour of Nitro being all cruiserweight matches at the time, and it generating a lot of talent and just interest. Basically, it's just wide streaming interest, I guess.
And they were launching, WWF, I believe, had a Puerto Rican station that was going to be launching a Puerto Rican only WWF All Stars, I believe it was called. So it would be like Sadio Vega, Aguera, a few other Mexican Spanish stars that would be featured on there.
Yeah, and they signed basically everybody who was in Los Boricuas got signed for that show, because they had during Final Four, they had somebody on that was, I can't remember who it was from Los Boricuas that was on during the Final Four, but it was under
was it the guy who had the rug? He was very hairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was pissed off at Savio Vega turning heel, so that's why that's the whole thing, right? So that's what they had started. But yeah, so that was they were starting that, so they were starting their entire, I guess, multilingual brand, or their second language brand at the time, and
Vince only kept that project, I think, for 5 months.
Yeah, just because it probably was, they just easier just to repackage your original program with the Spanish announce team, week to week, right? So makes sense.
Bring Crush back to America.
Right, exactly. That's it. So, but the AAA involvement does not end here. Oh no, because now comes the
do you want to save
sandwich?
Do you want to save the Rumble for the main event, and then we can just talk about the main event? Because what we're here to really talk about is if they could make it or not at the Rumble.
That's right, exactly. So we'll skip the Rumble match for now, and we'll go and we'll talk about the main event, which was a singles match for the WWF Championship. A Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, comes back to San Antonio, Texas, and defeats Psycho Sid via pinfall in 13 minutes and 49 seconds.
He did it. I can't believe he did it.
This was the big payoff for the final quarter of 96 into 97.
Well,
Shawn winning the title at home, basically.
And this completes the start of their feud that started at Survivor Series when Sid beat up Jose with the TV monitor.
That's right, with the camera. And then Shawn uses the camera to defeat Sid in this match as well, right? When the ref's down. So that's the finish with it.
But for a blood feud, what an entrance.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're in that era. I love
when I hate my enemy so much that I gotta dance first.
Yeah. In hindsight, being 2020, of course.
Shawn had a hero entrance in his own town. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's for sure. It's a hero entrance in his entire hometown. Exactly. For sure, it's a hero entrance. But it's that's the whole payoff, right? It's, it's Sean must dance. It's the new Hogan must pose in 1997. The Sean must dance, and Sean must win the title. And then
and I guess this feud actually goes further than Survivor Series. It goes all the way back to Mania 95.
Yeah, the night after Mania, the Raw after Mania 95, when Sid betrayed Sean. Yes, exactly. And then Sid left WWF for a bit. And that one was a contract dispute, I think. That was
and then he came back with the Psycho gimmick.
Yeah, he came back with Psycho Sid, basically to
summer of '97. Yeah,
summer '96
or no, summer '96. Yeah,
yes, as Sean's tag partner in the International Incident 6-man to go against Camp Cornette, because that was supposed to be Ahmed Johnson, as we talked about earlier. Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels, and the Ultimate Warrior versus Camp Cornette, but Warrior decided
very long.
Warrior decided to be Ultimate Warrior, and they cut bait with him, and so they brought in Sid as the replacement in that 6-man match. That's another card that I'll have to bring up with the boys one day, and that stuff that we'll have to take a look at from top to bottom, because it's one of the classic 2-hour in your houses and that stuff. And to me, at least, I feel that card flows nice, but we'll see what everybody has to say at that time. But between the two matches that Sean and Sid have, the Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble match, I feel this one's the weaker of the two.
Yes. Yeah, Survivor Series had a lot. Survivor Series had a more impact moment to it than the Rumble moment had. Because also Sean, this is at the height of his personal demons.
Yes.
And he'll walk away actually within a week from this with nothing.
Yeah. So the he lost his smile is coming. It's not this week on Raw. It's the next week on Raw. Yeah. So, what's the deal with the flu bug? Was Sean legit sick, or was he just basically, is that the catalyst of the whole? Oh, so he was under the influence.
My best to the top.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes. All right. Yeah. Okay. So
Jeff Hardy idolized Shawn Michaels.
Makes sense. So looking at it, and we discussed it a little bit on the channel too, back when we used to do the merch search episodes with the WrestleMania 13 WWF magazine edition. I think it's like that came out in like March of that year or something, but it was teeing up, and it had Sean and Brett kind of in the top of the thing.
They were they wanted to build Sean Brett 2.
They're trending towards a Sean Brett rematch, Sean Brett 2 in Chicago. It's what they were looking at. Yeah, they figured we're going to run it back. That's going to be the rematch, and this time, if you hear Brett and his supporters, they say that Brett was supposed to win the title from Sean as a repayment for doing the favor the year before. And them possibly building towards some sort of ultimate rubber match at WrestleMania 14 in 98. Of course,
do a trilogy,
to do a trilogy. But I look at that and I'm like, I don't know. There's too many young superstars that they have, even as limited as the roster is. There's too many young superstars with talent that are coming up that to have that as another main event would be, I don't know. Like at that point, it might be just old news, right?
Yeah, I mean, Brett already was losing his step in '98.
Yes.
Could he go to 99 and still be a top guy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he's already in his early 40s.
Yeah,
at this point. So
yeah, he's not as quick as he once was, and the injuries
and Vince, like he told Randy Savage, dude, you're looking old at 35.
Good point too.
Yeah,
good point. And there's that whole, like I said, the whole youth movement starting to take note in WWE or WWF at the time in '97, because you have Stone Cold,
you have Triple H, you have Stone Cold, you have Mick Foley, you have Baby Rock that will be coming out pretty soon.
Rocky Maivia, who's just debuted. Yep. You have that's
you have Jeff Jarrett, who, if If he stayed in one company, he probably would have been your upper middle guy, your LA Knight level guy.
That's probably would have been, your legacy heel intercontinental champion.
Yep,
Probably,
exactly.
But
Your Dolph Ziggler's.
much like the Honky Tonk Man, maybe something
Yep.
something along those lines, right? I
Yep.
mean, not because they both used a guitar, but I mean,
a Mr. Perfect level.
Yeah, the longevity heel mid card champion that all the baby faces lose to on their way up to the top, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, something along those lines. And don't forget, you have Owen, you got Bulldog, you got so for
and then don't forget your developmental. Right now, you have Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian.
yeah, those guys are about to pop off. You have the Hardys somewhere in this mix too.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
there's talent there.
Yeah.
It's just it's cookie batter right now.
It's freshly assembled. Yeah.
It's in the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. It's in the freezer in the supermarket. You just grab it. Yeah.
But it's there. It is there.
So, well, we've put it off long enough. Enough of the pre-ramble, basically, of the pre-card and that stuff. Or the undercard, I should say. Let's go to just a quick note about that 6-man tag. The crowd is just definitely quiet during that
because
nobody knows who they are. That's why.
Well, they were hoping that they could carry some of that audience because AAA did tour the South Texas every now and then.
Yeah.
So they're hoping they were able to draw based off that.
Yeah.
But I think they're the old SW guys. I think they said the tickets were around $12 a ticket for the average price here. So it was just a night out for a lot of people.
Basically, yes, a night out to go see what was happening at the Alamo Dome. Yeah, that's it. So. And maybe see the hometown boy win the title. That was it. That was
thing. Really? Kerry's going to be wrestling tonight? Von Erich night.
There we go. Yes, exactly. So, well, no, San Antonio was Blanchard territory, was it not? So maybe Tully's in. I don't know.
The Tullys, yes.
Yeah.
And the Funks.
There we go. Yeah. Exactly. Well, one Funk's in this next match here. The 1997 Royal Rumble match. Okay, so if this is your first ever look-in on the Would They Have Had a Shot, we're going to go through the entrants from 1 to 30 and basically debate / rank the realism that they would have at the main event at WrestleMania 13. This year, because as this match is on the card, we still the Sid Shawn match hasn't happened, if that makes sense. That's the last match on the card, so we still don't know who's filling out the Mania card for 1997 at this point when they are doing the Rumble match. Obviously, you're watching this
right now. The winner of this match will fight Sid or Shawn at Mania.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So that's the whole thing.
That's what we know.
Yeah, that's what we know. That's the whole thing. So we're gonna go through all the entrants, and we're just gonna basically rank the realism and where we could see if we could see them main eventing a WrestleMania, and we'll have a count for you at the end of this end of the thing, and we'll see what happens.
If you saw our 0-1 one.
Yeah,
I believe that count is going to be significantly higher.
You mean, the 0-1 count's going to be way higher. Yeah. This will be way lower. Yes. I
significantly lower.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So opening it up, they opened the Royal Rumble, and I wrote the little blurbs with each entry that's walked in here, like a little sentence blurb. So opens up with Crush, like we said, D'Lo and Mark Henry walking him out, in the group, and whoever else from the nation, PG-13.
Former member of Demolition, former member of Camp Cornette, former member of Yokozuna Posse.
Yeah,
now member of Nation.
Former Hawaiian Kool-Aid
endorser. Kona Crush, yeah.
Kona Crush, yes. Shaka Bra, making little kids cry bra. Just a bit player at this time in the Nation. No real chance of winning this thing. I think that's agreed upon.
Nobody's going to be buying the ticket to see Crush main event WrestleMania this year at Hartford Civic Center.
You don't see WrestleMania 13 being main evented by Crush versus Sid? Is that
at the Hartford Civic Center?
Oh, yeah. Forget it. Now, the second one's interesting. Ahmed Johnson comes out. And, of course, we talked about his feud currently with the Nation and Farouk. This is what I have written down here. I feel at this point, Ahmed could have had a shot at the main event. He's coming off of an Intercontinental title run, but drawing number 2 probably means he's destined for mid-card, and he eliminates himself anyway by going after Farouk when Farouk kind of walks out, a few picks later and is taunting him at ringside, basically, right?
Again, like I said, there's a lot of cookie batter here. There's a lot of undeveloped talent. Yes, I agree with you. If they had the right story and the right development, Ahmed Johnson, you could have built as a Brock Lesnar type contender at WrestleMania.
I think that's the way.
Possible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ahmed Johnson, they showcased he has half the brains that Lex Luger does. Or sorry. They showcased that Ahmed Johnson has half the brains that Sid does.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're going away from a power. The plan was to go away from a power wrestler, like we said, and go potentially into 2 finesse wrestlers with Sean and Brett, right, for the main event for that. So,
but a finesse wrestler can make a big wrestler look good.
Yeah. Exactly. So okay. So Ahmed's number 2.
So I agree with you. Ahmed has. Yes. On paper, and you could have developed it, yes, but they made him look like an idiot, and he's actually lost value now after this.
Yes. Yeah. I see the Nation, therefore I am.
Yeah, that's all I can see.
Yeah, that's all you can see. That's it. And I don't think he ever held a singles title in the WWF after that Intercontinental title run. He had 1 Intercontinental title run. That was it.
He's never had a tag belt. That's the only belt he's ever had.
So there we go. Number 3, fake Razor Ramon.
Hey, Chico. I'm a Canadian Razor.
It's Rick Titan.
It's Rick Titan.
It's Rick Titan.
It's the Canadian Razor.
I just have LOL no in my notes.
He did he got the bushwhacker spot this week.
Yes, exactly. LOL no. So yeah, he doesn't last long anyways. He gets tossed out by somebody. I can't remember who, but anyway, he's done.
Yeah, sorry, Phaser.
Phaser Ramon.
Yep,
the fake. It's Phaser Ramon. There we go. Man, next up, Phineas Godwin. More of a tag team threat at the time, so no real chance of winning this one. Yeah, tag team act with Henry, obviously, at the time. And so...
You know what's going to sell a WrestleMania down in Hartford? Country Bumpkin fighting Sid.
Again, this is Chicago, but yes, it wouldn't sell. So.
Was it Chicago? I thought it was Hartford this year.
No. Hartford is 95. Chicago is 97, so there we go.
Even worse.
Yes.
Chicago definitely has no interest in seeing a Country Bumpkin fight.
No, they have a tag team. There's spikes coming out of the freaking shoulder.
We like Road Warriors. We don't like Deliverance, my friend.
Yes. Sorry. We're not going down that road. So, yes, exactly. Right. So, yes. All right. Number 5. I think this is one that's a no doubter. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hot run since King of the Ring. Major feud with Bret Hart at the time. Major in the fact that there was a lot of talking, and this is where the convolution gets, is that there's a lot of talk at the time that the WWF title match at Mania could be Stone Cold versus Bret the Hitman Hart in a rematch from Survivor Series.
Stone Cold's hot right now, and he's the first great wrestler that WWF has ever produced. Because he's not a villain, but he's not a good guy either.
He's a tweener.
He does whatever he wants to do. Yeah.
And then that, ultimately later in the year, like the last quarter of 97, that turns the crowd right onto Austin. And he becomes like the biggest babyface going to 98.
The comparison for modern day wrestling is MJF pre-AEW world title.
That's a very good comparison. Very good. I would say that. Definitely.
And yes, obviously, he's a contender.
Yeah.
I mean, Stone Cold, yeah, he's done okay. He's had a good career. I mean, I think he's main evented definitely a couple pay-per-views in his life.
He has, looking at this on paper, now that we have the listings and that stuff, yeah, he's definitely one of the top gunners in this. So for sure, that's what you look at. That's
Speaking of top gunners, Bart Gunn.
Pre-Brawl for All era Bart Gunn and post-Smoking Guns Bart Gunn gets chucked by Austin. No chance for Mike Barton, Bart Gunn.
Bart Gunn.
Et cetera.
Who invited Bart Gunn?
Again, this is a short roster. So if you have a pulse and you are drawing a paycheck from the company, I'm thinking you're getting an invite.
Come on down to San Antonio.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. As is the next guest here, or next pick, number 7, Jake the Snake Roberts. So he's back in the WWF. Or he came back in the middle of '96 as the performer / agent. They were using him to road agent a bunch of matches on TV at this time. So realistically, no chance. But in the fans' eyes, maybe a slight one. Probably not. They're just bringing him back for the nostalgia pop, basically.
He had no shot. He's already looking haggard again. I think he's given up on his sober life he was leading.
He's turned back to the bottle at that point.
Yeah. So he's definitely not at his best shape. And then he was buried by Stone Cold at King of the Ring. He's not getting out of that burial.
Nope. You fuck your Bibles and you talk about your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. That Jake, it's. We'll see you healthy again in a while, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Number 8, the British Bulldog.
I'm going to say not a contender, but definitely a guy who can be in the Rumble a bit. Kind of like your Rick Martel at this level.
Mm-hmm. I don't have him as a contender. He's more of a mid-card role at the time because he and Owen are the cornerstones of your tag division at this point.
Yep, he's not in major storylines.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Click's already kind of pushed him out from that area.
Mm-hmm. So, again, tag team champ with Owen. However, I feel Bulldog and Owen were more upper mid-card than mid-card. I don't see him as a WrestleMania main eventer at this point.
No.
I think the time to have pulled the trigger for him to be a WrestleMania main eventer would have been SummerSlam 92. So there we go. And they did that.
Because he did go the distance in 95, but that was also a very depleted roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way,
Dick Murdoch's in that Rumble in 95. Man.
Yeah. What undercard is better, 95 or 97? Just quickly.
Probably 97.
I'd say 95. Because you have Brett and Diesel in a title match.
You also have Kama stealing the urn of the Undertaker to make
yeah, that's a good point. But you got Jeff Jarrett, Razor Ramon as the opener for the IC title, which is better than Triple H and Goldust. So
you got heel 1, 2, 3 kid starting to push that diaper match with Razor.
Yeah, that's a good point too. See, every time I try to build up that 95 or something that brings it down, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to steal for our next entrant here, Moorhouse, a racing term that I use a lot over on Drag Files, and it's called field filler. And that's the whole point of a field filler is you're there for the paycheck to fill the field. You have no realistic chance at winning. You're just there to get paid and move on to the next event. That's about it. In NASCAR, it's called field fillers. They call it start and park, stuff like that. So Piroff, the AAA wrestler at the time, I have him as a field filler, and he's one of many in this thing.
He was my number 2 pick. I was surprised.
You had him going all the way?
Yeah, he was up there. He was. I was between him, and I was really hoping for that surprise appearance by El Dandy, but it didn't really happen today.
By the way, I think El Dandy and La Parka are already doing WCW appearances at this time. So
they're already blocked.
I think they've already jumped ship. So yeah,
they're feeling it worse than Andrade right now.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, time sensitive burn. I like it. Anyway,
it's modern. It's current event.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Number 10, the Sultan just recently debuted with the Iron Sheik in his corner.
That's not the Sultan. That's Rikishi Fatu.
Yes, basically, yeah. It's probably bound for the mid card, but I wouldn't have him as high as that. Come back as Rikishi and we'll talk. No chance. That's what I have right now.
he's still what 2.5 years till Rikishi.
The peak
2.5 more years to Rikishi.
The peak of Big Quiche isn't until 2000. So
maybe 3 more years. Sultan, I'm sorry, you think it's a mid-card gimmick? I think this is Rikishi's second worst gimmick and a jobber gimmick.
So you think the worst gimmick for him was the
street not thug Fatu?
Street thug Fatu. What was his? It was like a pro-life message that he was.
He kept it real. He didn't do drugs, and he was keeping it real on the streets of San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he used to wear those old athletic 90s bomber jackets.
Yeah, he looked like the guy that was like hanging out outside the barbershop.
Yeah,
out on a project somewhere.
Yeah,
all the time. So I'm going to go get a soda, watch the ball game.
Yeah, cheer for my 49ers.
What I'm going to do. Number 11, and this is a weird name, Mil Mascaras.
Look at this young upstart at a young 68 years old Mil Mascaras running down to the ring.
That's right. There's a precedent set for this. It's Carlos Colon in 93.
He's no longer the oldest. Mil Mascaras is now the oldest.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a precedent for that. Oh man. Okay.
That was the original reference wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carlos Colon.
When you
young whippersnapper Carlos Colon.
Just gorilla ribbing his business partner is what it was.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, here's Mil Mascaras, who's almost 30 years older.
Yeah. Mexican legend brought in as a freelance field filler. Unfortunately, small potatoes in the WWF. So of course, no chance. But a weird one-off.
Also, refused to job, so he decided to eliminate himself.
He did. He
yep,
flew out of the building. Flew out of the ring on a
he said no other wrestlers worthy of throwing out the great Mil Mascaras, so I will throw myself out.
Mm-hmm. Number 12, and this one might spark a little bit of a debate here. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So he's the current IC champ going into this match. Still feeling the heat from the curtain call a tiny bit. So at this time, I'm giving him no chance. And that's because the peak for Triple H isn't 97. It's 98 with DX.
If you're going to do
or the rising for him, I guess.
If I'm thinking, he's at his Jungle Boy Jack Perry stage here right now.
He's got still has a lot of heat off of the curtain call.
He still has the heat, but he hasn't really figured out who he is. And that's kind of where Jack Perry is right now in his journey.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Triple H finally hit his peak in 2.5 years. Same time Rikishi kind of figures out who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
so. But until then, he's going to be kind of a tag team mid-card guy for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Number 13, Owen Hart. So again, I have him as a upper mid-card guy at the moment, kind of minted as a tag team wrestler. And I have down bigger things on the horizon. It kind of does, where they, with reconciling with Brett and doing the whole Hart Foundation thing is a bigger thing.
But then he screws up his career at SummerSlam.
That's true. But then they've utilized him in the world title picture at the end of the year?
No. Well, barely. Ken Shamrock was in the world title picture at the end of the year.
Yeah, but Owen brought back
basically
a couple of main events on Raw for the title, right? So
basically, what happened? Owen famously messed up a pile driver on Steve Austin.
Yeah, at SummerSlam,
and Steve Austin ended up burying Owen any push Owen was going to get in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So No chance as Owen eliminates Bulldog, seeding their mini feud over what ends up being the first ever European title reign for the British Bulldog. Yep.
And that will run until after Mania.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Which is also the main event of the lowest rated Monday Night Raw in history.
Really? The one where Bret Hart makes him forms the stable?
It's the one where the main event is they shot it in Germany and it's all house show stuff. But the main event is the European title match between Owen and Bulldog.
And that's what they released one night only, right?
That's not one night only. That's just like the German.
I have a VHS tape with that first match on it, though.
Yeah.
Sean versus British. Yeah,
Sean versus Bulldog was September.
It was okay.
Yeah, that's one night only. Yeah, so
there you go. We go. We're learning. Yep. We're learning.
Wrestle lore, everybody. Wrestle lore.
Speaking of learning, what about our number 14 entrance? The
Goldust
as Goldust.
Goldust, yes. I have him as a mid-card guy, upper mid-card guy, but his focus is at the IC title at the moment and Triple H. So I don't have him just because of the storyline that he's in as a legit shot to win this Rumble. So
the problem with Goldust is he had shock factor, and it was very shocking in '96. But oh no, we're in '97.
Yeah, and we've turned him face by this time too. So don't forget, he's a firmly entrenched baby face with the crowd because he has a hot wife. That's why.
Yeah. And actually, his booking's kind of going to slide down for a while here.
Yeah,
he won't pick it up again until '99.
So, no chance to win the '97 Rumble. Number 15, Cybernetical, another AAA field filler. 0 chance, obviously.
I know nothing about this guy, but I think he's from the cyber world. Is he the internet? The wrestler? Cybernetico.
Well, I mean, WCW had Blitzkrieg, who is like just genius level computer engineer apparently in his real job. So that's why
but the Blitzkrieg character was actually a German Nazi.
Okay, sure, that's a good point, right? But I'm talking about the Luchador Blitzkrieg was a like legit, like his side job or his 9-to-5 job was he was like one of the lead engineers for like one of the huge Silicon Valley companies or something like that. So like he was making like close to 6 figures in his 9-to-5, and he just wrestled as like a extra, like a side hustle. so that's why he like, remember in like Extreme Warfare Revenge and like Promotion Wars, if you tried to sign him, there's like Hart might not be into it because of his actual job, but his overall and everything is like a 90.
Wow.
Yeah, like he was like like one of the high prospects in that game, right? So but yeah, there we go. So a quick side, but anyway. But no, Cybernetical, not Blitzkrieg, therefore no chance.
Back to the internet for you, my friend.
That's right. 16, Wild Man Mark Merrow.
Oh man. This is a tough Rumble.
This is yes. Rumble. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mark Miro, Vince really loved Johnny B. Bad character, but he couldn't replicate it in WWF, and this is already past when Vince has given up on it.
And this is also past the time too where Vince sued WCW for Scott Hall and Kevin Nash showing up on Nitro if the Razor Ramon and Diesel kind of hinting towards that.
Then you can't do Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, and that's right. Okay. They don't want the repercussions of him walking out on Monday Night Raw and, oh my God, it's Johnny B. Bad. But there we go. So that's why they went with Wildman Mark Merrow. So that's that. So Merrow coming off of the IC title run, but it's cooled considerably at the time, so no chance.
Yeah.
So there we go. We continue with number 17. The Latin Lover from AAA, another a AAA field filler. No chance.
So is he a lover of Latins, or is he just Latin and he's a lover?
No, he's an extra from that show that used to be on Tele Latino on Friday nights after like 1 a.m.
I see.
The telenovela with the full nudity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Latin Lover versus Psycho Sid. will sell exactly 14 tickets. Just 14.
They can fill out the community center across the street from the Rosemont Horizon, but not the Rosemont Horizon itself. So
not the community center, the backyard of the community center.
Good point. Probably better point. Yes, exactly.
Okay. The Veterans Memorial Lacrosse Field.
Veterans Memorial Cricket Pitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it's a United States cricket pitch, so that's not as huge as it was in the UK. But anyway, number 18, Farouk. So hot feud with Ahmed at the time, but as a veteran, basically booked in that feud to do the job to Ahmed to help build him up. So looking at this kind of as a no chance scenario for Farouk at this time.
If he didn't have Ahmed Johnson hanging around, yes, he probably could have been considered
because he was
a hot heel.
Yeah, and you're trying to establish a nation of domination as a credible threat at this point, right?
Yeah.
So,
but then you wouldn't want Sid versus Farouk, so that's where I'd probably have Sean versus Farouk. In that
you'd have to be definitely Sean or Brett versus Farouk at that point. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you're going to,
that would have been a good match, I think. Yeah, they're Brett and Farouk.
Sean Farouk would be great.
That much. Yeah.
So you're looking at Sean versus Ron Simmons, essentially. So yeah, that'd be good. Brett versus Ron Simmons would be great.
Those are good matches. They sound good to me.
They'd be fun.
Yeah,
those would be fun to see.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go back for my DVDs tonight now, so to see if Brett and Farouk ever had a one-on-one match. They had to have on like a house show or something like that.
I'd be interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Sean.
Speaking of interesting. Our friend from Puerto Rico, Steve Austin's former nemesis, Savio Vega. How are you doing?
So there's a big beat in this Rumble just prior to it, and it's Austin basically eliminating the entire field at this point. And so he's just at this point in the ring by himself, waiting for guys to come in, like a gauntlet, basically. Savio Vega had a feud with Austin, so still kind of a mid-carder with Austin at this point.
But Austin's way 5 levels higher now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of the rare things that WWF at the time could look back and say, hey, we actually have history with these two guys, because it literally was like a year
ago. It was a year ago. Yeah.
They were doing the Caribbean strap matches and stuff like that. So don't see a main eventing Mania in Chicago, so no chance. And then Austin just gets rid of him anyway. So
yeah, again, Savio Vega versus Psycho Sid is not that's a main event at your regional wrestling company
or Puerto Rico, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania is not in Puerto Rico this year; it's in Chicago. So
you know where WrestleMania also is at Jesse James's place, because he's not going this year.
It's not in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Come on,
no. Our favorite booker of SmackDown, Jesse James.
I have number 20, Double J, Jesse James. I have written down, no,
because he didn't even. This was even before New Age Outlaw Jesse James. This was Roadie Jesse James.
Yeah. So by this time in the gauntlet, he's dumped out the field. He being Austin, he's dumped out Vega. He's dumped out Road Dogg. Now 21. Brett the Hitman Hart.
And Brett's reaction always makes me laugh. He just puts his hands
Austin's,
and then screams.
Yeah. Because he's running through this gauntlet of jobbers, and then all of a sudden here comes the
Bret Hart's music plays,
the WWF champ. I think he was just 3-time WWF champ at the time. He might be 3 or 4-time WWF, but anyway. But he's basically the Babe Ruth of WWF at this time. He's the returning legend, the guy that it's the hottest feud in the company.
That's the guy Steve Austin's been bothering for the last few months now.
Yep. Just fresh off a Lonesome Dove and in a bitter feud with Austin at the time. Rumors abounding about a rematch with HBK at Mania as well. So hell yes, Bret Hart has a shot. And you think walking in, he's going to be involved in the finish of this thing. So
after 21 entries, we have 2 guys who actually deserve a shot now.
Well,
that's
2 definite and 1 debatable.
In baseball, that's hitting just below 100, which means you're going back down to AAA, my friend.
2 definites and 1 debatable so far. So
yeah, who's the debatable?
Ahmed.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, because we debated it.
Fine, that was a sacrifice fly.
So number 22 for a comedy spot, it was Jerry the King Lawler. So no chance, but still the spot makes me chuckle. So whatever.
Yeah, and of
It
course
takes a king, kapoom, to know a king.
yeah, and he did the bushwhacker spot here too, and Brett got a little bit more win on him because Brett and Jerry have been feuding for about 3 years at this point.
Yeah, so I love that this Rumble kind of makes fun of itself a little bit. It alludes to Austin and Vega a little bit. It alludes to Hart and Lawler a little bit. So, yeah. Number 23, the fake diesel, Glenn Jacobs.
It's the mayor of Knoxville.
So this was Kane, Glenn Jacobs, in a developmental role. He'd be better later in the year, but this early, of course, no chance. He's just a baby. He's just a baby at this time.
This is his second character so far in WWF now.
Yes.
Fake Diesel. He actually does go the distance here, but no, he had no.
He, at this point, has had the Isaac Yankem run. He's just basically, this is at the tail end of the Fake Diesel run.
This is like, I know the writing's on the wall. I could be fired any second day.
Yeah, basically. And he's basically, after the Fake Diesel thing, set out to no man's land at this point, and it's wondering if he's going to go back to the Indies or Japan as Unabomb, or
or I think you think he talked about doing some getting into politics or business,
or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, the Undertaker takes a liking to Glenn because they had the match in Smoky Mountain. Where it was Taker and Unabomb, which is a fantastic match.
And they had a character available for him to try out.
That's right. And ergo, that's it. So yeah, at this point, later in '97, we see Kane as we know Kane, right?
But this is Fake Diesel.
But this is Fake Diesel, so no chance.
Yeah.
Now, if Kane in 1998 was in the Royal Rumble, you give Kane all the chances in the world to main event WrestleMania, obviously, but they didn't go.
Kane 98 was hot, yes.
Yes, exactly, absolutely. So, but there we go. 24. So this one will make us both smile as classic wrestling fans, and that's of Terry Funk.
Hey, we just talked about him in a previous episode.
We did, yes, absolutely, in the Barely Legal, which is later this year in '97. So. This is January. Barely Legal was April of '97. Middle-aged and crazy, the Texas legend booked in to lend his name to help draw a sellout for this event. He's spending the majority of his time in ECW at the time, so no chance, but still pretty epic to see him in this Rumble. And him, especially, we'll talk about it when Mankind comes out. But him,
I was going to talk about it. Like watching him Mick go at it was actually fun to watch. So.
It's good, yeah. It's kind of them. That's their first real lockup encounter since Japan. So like they haven't seen each other since '95,
and they're best friends. Yeah,
yeah. And so of course they're working with each other. So yeah, why not, right? So yeah.
But Terry Funk, no, I'm sorry, you're just here for a one-night appearance. Thank you for coming down from Amarillo. Unlike Dennis Stamp, you were booked today.
You were booked, yes. Good beyond the mat reference. I like it. Number 25 was Rocky Maivia, only his fourth pay-per-view PLE appearance at the time. I think by my count it was fourth. It might be wrong by a couple.
Might be less, but he's
actually be less, yeah.
Because he debuted at Survivor Series in November. He's just
that's
a baby.
Right.
Baby.
And I'm thinking he was on both In Your Houses prior to.
There was only one In Your House. There would have been just a December one.
Just a December one. Was he on that December In Your House? Let's do a quick Wikipedia check.
He's a baby here, though. He's Baby Rock.
Yeah. He's a pebble. The Rock is a pebble at this time. So, what was it? Was that Beware a Dog? I can't remember.
That was the one where the power went out.
Yeah,
I think.
In Your House.
So you're right. There is two You're In Your Houses because they redid In Your House, right?
Yeah.
Because the power died on the first one.
Yeah, this was. Oh no, that's way back in early '96, so he wouldn't have been on that one. Was it Good Friends Better? Nope, that's 95 or 96. Sorry. Anyway, whatever.
I'm almost there. It was Breakdown.
Breakdown in your house. Okay.
Or no, it wasn't. No, wait. That's not right. We don't know what we're doing.
So he debuts at Survivor Series in 96. I'm under the thought pattern that he's had one more, at least one pay-per-view appearance prior to Rumble. Otherwise, this is his second.
So the pay-per-view was its time. It was Sid versus Brett.
Okay.
Was the main event.
That's from West Palm Beach, Florida. I know the
Rock had a dark match that night.
Okay, so he was not on the pay-per-view. Got it.
He fought Salvador Sincere.
Says all you need to know about WWF in 1996. Right there.
But anyways, Rock, babyface Rock, 97 Rock, does not even the Rock. He's not even the Nation Rock. He's just smiling Rock. He's not going to main event WrestleMania because, boy, as much as I want to see Sid powerbomb a young babyface Rock 30 times, it's just not going to draw a ticket for me.
Yeah,
because that's what would happen. That's based on the levels they are at.
Fair. It's fair. Fair is fair, and Moorhouse is fair. So there
we'll see. We'll see in '98. Rock. '98 is going to be a great year for you, Rock.
I don't foresee him in a Mania main event at this time. Talk to me in '98. That's what I have written down. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So 26, Mankind. So just coming off.
Come to wrestle you, Terry.
Just coming off a series of bangers with The Undertaker, and he did work with HBK for the title in the spring of '96. So I'm going to say he does have a shot, but I'm going to add a little asterisk at the beginning of that, saying that it would be a very questionable decision if they did go with Foley at this point in '97. Another probably talk to me in about a year or two type of thing, to be quite honest.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet. He hasn't even really. We haven't seen the three faces of Foley even at this point. We haven't even seen two faces of Foley yet.
No, we just see Mankind. That's it.
Just Mankind, and he's been on a losing end of a couple feuds, so he's not there right now.
Although occasionally you see a little bit of Cactus Jack creep in there.
Yeah. You know what? 98 is going to be a great year for you, Mick.
Yes, you're going to be in all the In Your House main events in 98.
You and Rock? You both are going to have great 98s.
That's right. Exactly. All of the main events. So there we go. So 26, Mankind. Yeah, probably talk to me in 2 years sort of thing. Yep. But I have him down as a contender here, but I'm like, whatever. That's with my asterisk.
You know who else is a contender? Too Cold Scorpio, Flash Funk.
Maybe in WCW, but not here. Sorry, Scorp, no chance.
No Flash Funk versus Sid, the modern day pimp taking on the master of the powerbomb.
Nope.
All right.
Nope, not going to happen. So, yeah, you got to look at that too. It's like, if they look at if Mankind, who's a heel at this point, wins this thing, it would be Shawn and Mankind again. And they did have that great match in the spring of '96, but that's, was that enough to run it back? Would they, especially at Mania? Is that Mania worthy to run back? I don't know. So
yeah.
So something like that, like much like this one here, Vader coming in at 28. So he's fresh off the win with the Undertaker and a new.
But he's already taken. He's been taking L's. He's been taking L's.
Yeah, he fought HBK before.
Oh, and Shawn hated it.
That's right.
Absolutely hated it.
That's the underlying thing right there. So I say maybe they'd consider him, but I don't think he has a shot. No. Another questionable choice if they did went with it, because then it would be like, okay, you want Shawn to go to WCW if you put Vader in the main event with Shawn at Mania. Yeah,
and then the other main event, Vader Powerbomb versus Powerbomb.
Now, the only way that would work is if it's Brett and Vader in the main event at WrestleMania.
Brett and Vader, did they wrestle? I don't think they did really wrestle.
I don't think there was anything that they really wrestled on, like
again, another match. I would like to see that.
It had to have happened on like one of the spring Raws of '97 or something like that.
It's definitely a heel style Brett. It's a heel type wrestler Brett likes to wrestle.
And Vader, it'd be like wrestling Sting again.
And for him, Brett, it'd be like Bam.
Yeah, like Bam Bam. Yeah.
Yeah. And Brett loved wrestling Bam Bam.
So, that could have some pull.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Mania main event, but it definitely would be a pay-per-view.
That's your Saturday main event.
That's your
WrestleMania Saturday.
2-day Manias back in '97. Okay, sure. Well, we'll get right on that. Yeah, all right.
Well, they only show 5 matches. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. We'll see you back at the Rosemont tomorrow night for WrestleMania Sunday. Yeah, okay.
Or you can do just what AEW does and put 42 matches on your one show.
Good Lord, yeah. I don't know, man. That's quite a lot.
Speaking of quite a lot, how about instead of Phineas Godwin, how about we do Henry Godwin?
You lost me. No.
So no hog farmer at main event in wrestling.
I copied and pasted this. I was like, what I basically copied and pasted for Phineas and put down for Henry. I was like, yeah, better suited for tag team matches at the time.
What a waste of your final 5 spots with Henry Godwin and Flash Funk.
Again, this is how you book a Royal Rumble with 20 people on roster. That's it. And it's a 30-man match. So you got...
Well, we're finally at 30, and look, we have another contender.
We do, yes.
The dead man.
Vince, the Undertaker. Vince basically tries to spoil it and says, this is the first, too, is Vince basically jumping up and saying, and the winner of the 1997 Royal Rumble is The Undertaker. And I'm like, whoa, Vince, what the hell, man? It's on his way.
Yep.
And then I'm like, yeah, of course he has a shot. And then this is what I had written down. And this is, again, I had seen this card a few times as a kid and stuff, and obviously knowing what happened in '97 and, lived through it and whatever. But I have this written down too, is that I have him down as a good backup choice just in case something happens with HBK or Sid for the main event of WrestleMania 13.
Speaking of which, there's quite a bit that happens after this movie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So... yeah.
Undertaker definitely had a shot. No question about it. So to me, that's only 3 guys out of 30 that you're hitting 100 that had a shot at main event WrestleMania.
See, so you're giving free. If I take all my asterisks and that stuff and make my maybes into definite, I have 6. But
I got 3. And
I think as we do these, Moorhouse, we do these, we're going to have some highs and some lows.
I was going to say the whole Rumble was the Stone Cold Rumble.
It is, yes. Yeah, it basically is. Austin wins by tossing Brett out, but
he cheated. He cheated.
The rest didn't see Brett eliminating Stone Cold because they were breaking up Terry Funk and Mankind on the outside of the ring.
They were having a little tuffle,
yeah. And this is also the first time we see on camera a outburst towards Vince McMahon from Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yep.
Post-match. So sets the
heel Bret's building. It's
the first tease of heel Bret. Yes. Yeah. First real tease of it.
But is he a justified heel? Yes, he is a justified heel.
Yeah, because they screwed him. That's why.
He left and they went out. They carried the ship without him, and he came back and they forgot all about him.
Mm-hmm. Which happens every day in every industry now in 2025. But hey, whatever,
If you're not there, you got to keep going.
You get forgotten. Right? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get forgotten about. So that's it. So yeah. So the '97 Rumble. That's the whole enchilada right there.
Mm-hmm.
to steal the Spanish term there. That's so. Since it's you and I sitting here and that stuff, we could do the rankings out of 10 for the card, or we can do is this one of your favorite Rumble matches? For me, it is. I actually like the '97 Rumble match.
I do. It's a fun Rumble as awful as the talent pool is.
So
it's also only the second ever Rumble with theme songs for each wrestler entrance.
Yes, that's right. That's right. For the most part, they even gave theme music to the AAA guys, even though it's just all
generic Jim Johnson.
Diddle, yeah.
It's not as bad as generic WCW music because that was even more generic.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's way more generic for sure. So, yeah. So
let's give the ratings. I was going to add more context.
Yeah,
so
go for it. Go.
Before we rate the Rumble, we should also put an asterisk on this Rumble.
Okay.
Everything that happened after this was washed away. Sean lost his smile.
Oh, gone. Yeah, like Sean a week later.
Sean lost his smile 2 weeks later, gave up the title. Then, in order for Steve Austin to participate in Final Four, he gave up his Rumble shot.
That's right. Put it on the line.
Put it on the line.
And so the Final Four to Rumble
was Vader, Brett, Steve, and Stone Cold and Sid.
Yeah, they go into a fatal four-way. No, it wasn't a fatal four-way. It was just a four-man.
No, was it Undertaker, Vader, Steve, Brett?
Yeah, Undertaker, Vader, Steve, Brett. Yeah,
Brett won the match, but then lost to Sid
the next night.
Yeah.
So Sid ended up out of this entire mini gauntlet getting the vacant belt at the time.
And then Undertaker won a contender match.
And then Taker wins the number one contender match the next week on Raw.
Yeah.
And that sets up and that match also sets
up a 2-week feud between Undertaker and Sid for the title.
Building into Mania. And that also set up Stone Cold Brett going towards the submission match.
Which was a good match.
Which should have been in the main event spot.
Yes.
Once they got word that HBK wasn't ready to go for Mania, that should have flipped and everything should have been Stone Cold Brett at that point. That was the push for it.
Yeah.
That's the main event. Because you're bringing in Ken Shamrock as your guest referee. That's your celebrity tie-in.
And you've actually had a story develop there where, like I said, Undertaker and Sid have only had 2 weeks to develop some kind of story.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time at a Mania that the WWF title was at that point on the undercard.
Yep, it's happened. Sid Savage,
yeah, and Mania 11.
Yep.
Which not the best example, but it was Diesel and Shawn.
Mania 10 too. Luger Yokozuna was undercard. Yeah,
it was undercard too, right? So wouldn't have been, but I mean that's it. But yeah,
so basically, it's a great. So my rating is going to impact that.
Okay.
Basically, because this Rumble didn't actually matter. Nothing mattered.
So what's you giving it out of 10?
Because nothing mattered. But I was still entertained. It's a 50%.
So it's a 5 out of 10. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a 5.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you're 5 out of 10. I'm going to give it just a little bit more, 6 out of 10, because I do enjoy the Rumble match. And I think Ahmed and Farouk is a good match, too.
Yeah.
I think
I'll rewatch it again in 10 years. Absolutely. No problem with that.
Every year at Rumble season, I try to pop that on at least for a watch. It's good. So it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a great watch. So
doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So
it's like WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis. Just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Yep. No, you got it. So that's it. Well, my backup camera just died, so I think it's time to wrap the show up. So thanks again for jumping on. This was of course to get you in on this one, because we on the main show decided to go down the darkest timeline, and I felt upset that you didn't want to join in on that, so I was like, okay, well, we'll do this one too. And this is our thing anyway, so this will be kind of a little subsection of the site that we'll keep this going and that stuff, and maybe closer to Rumble time this year in 26, we'll do another one.
We should do a modern one though, like the last decade.
Yeah, we should I think that's going to be the next thing that we do, is we take a look at a modern Rumble from the previous 10 years here, because
we keep looking at things that are 30 years old.
I know. Yeah, that's the classic.
Yeah.
It's a classic ring. Yeah, I think so. That would be a lot of fun, actually. I have to think about that and see which one would be good to do.
That's like me in '99 when I was really into wrestling. Keep renting like Bruno Sammartino tapes from the video store because I just love them so much.
I mean, that so Bill Apter and the Pro Wrestling Illustrated folks had a tape that went out. I forget the name of it, but it was they had two of them. They had that my local video store had. There was a Great American Bash one from '85, which was it was like an hour cut of the best matches from the Great American Bash tour, and it was I think Apter and Tony Schiavone at a or no, it was David Crockett. It was David Crockett and Bill Apter in a studio just kind of throwing to these matches, and then Tony Schiavone and David Crockett were doing the commentary over top of it. So that was one of them. It was only an hour long. And then was it called Heroes of the Ring was the second one or something like that? But anyway, Heroes of the Ring I kept renting until it clogged up my VHS player, whatever. Yeah. So I roasted a VHS player watching a video rental tape back.
But even then, that was only 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's its claim to fame. That's why I hated Pro Wrestling Illustrated for years, because it's like it got me in trouble with the parents because I clogged up the VCR, So
yes. At least you weren't buying those other tapes, those other tapes they had.
We won't get into that.
Yeah.
The statute of limitations, I think, has passed, but
yes, it has.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you very much. Where can they find your, if anything, right now? There anything?
When I'm not doing any apartment wrestling, I'm usually just hanging around the internet with you guys, fine gentlemen, talking about the latest, greatest wrestling.
Fair enough. So what I'll do is the typical spiel here. So if you want to see more of our stuff, if you want to request a show, we take requests. We're working on rotation wheel right now for shows and that stuff. But if it's a good enough request, we will do it. Send me an email at nitromaniactv@gmail.com. And basically the only ground rule I have is you have to give us a link if it's on a streaming service somewhere, just because now it's like tougher than ever to try and find shows, especially older shows and that stuff. Now, since the network is gone, like it used to be easy, but now it's not. It sucks. I know. It's terrible. They're kind of scattered shot all over the place. Some are on YouTube now. Some are on Peacock.
Netflix,
some are on Netflix. Stuff like that, right? So we just need to. If you're requesting a show, just throw a link in with us and just say, hey, here it is. Take a look at it, and we'll try and get to it in the rotation.
And we'll make sure we have the 7 needed streaming services so we can get as much wrestling content for you fine gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah, exactly, right? You can follow all my work over at Linktree/Kellen Nitro. Everything's there. It's all stacked up and everything. Would like to also shout out, we'll give Dark Exemption LARP a shout out as well. That's Craig's little deal he does. Go to their website and go check it out. They're kind of a sponsor, but not really. How's that?
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. So Dark Ascension Learn as well. So, and here's the link. That's a quick link to everything. tinyurl.com/nitromaniactv. That gets you right to the homepage. So, Moorhouse, thanks again. Appreciate it. I've been Kellen Nitro. Later days. Happy wrestling watching, and we'll catch you next time here on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited.